Hi there, welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today I want to continue the Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks, well, all of Fleetwood Mac except John, to my knowledge, the artwork and such that I had shown or begun some time ago. This would be part 4 of that segment. I think I had gotten pretty excited with showing you the stuff that I had and then kind of got sidetracked with finding the t-shirts and the posters and stuff like that. So I just have all this stuff and I bring it up, as it comes up. So I really went through those last 3 videos that I had done already and tried to find stuff that I have here all laid out in front of me that I had not shown you yet. And the only time I would show you repeat stuff would be in reference to some other things. And for example, I'm going to start off with this here as being the Rhiannon painting that, we talked about. And Stevie had done that. Well, this one was signed, these were signed by her in 1982. But then I know that she had done some more signed ones in like 1994, I want to say. So about a 12-year difference. But Stevie had been working on this for quite some time, and there is no date that I could see on this one. Not that that matters, but this had been this painting sometime prior to its finished product. So you can see there's just a lot more red. It could, could be the film, could be the way the picture is. The fact that there's writing in here, so it's like you got to kind of wonder if that writing was there and it got covered up at some point, or is this another piece? Like, had she made a copy of this one and written on this one? Like I said, it would be right up here somewhere. But I mean, every element of it is the same. There's the same little swirlies right here, those little almost like finger-looking things that are right here. And yeah, I was going to show you, this is a really tiny picture, but kind of a better example of how it was completed. Let's do this, that's better, a little bit closer up. And this is an old picture that I had from something, I don't know, not that these stickers or anything, mean anything, but usually when you get something like this with a sticker or any kind of writing, they're usually kind of older photos. And even though it's just a photo of a display that was at the Hard Rock, I need glasses and then I need this. This thing said here, I think this was when she had donated the portrait and was making the t-shirts, or donated the portrait for t-shirts for the Hard Rock Cafe to raise money for awareness and such. Down at the bottom, it says, Stevie Nicks has honored the Hard Rock Cafe's signature series by allowing the reproduction of Rhiannon for the benefit of Special Olympics International. Sold for a limited time, a portion of the proceeds will be donated to Special Olympics International. And that's just really at the bottom part here. But all the stuff on top of that says, and I'm going to try and read it because like I said, it's not just my eyesight. It's just, the picture's a little blurry. Stevie Nicks is one, it just really goes on to talk about her. I thought I was talking more about the portrait. Stevie originally penned the song Rhiannon for her first recording group, Buckingham Nicks. Before Rhiannon could be recorded by that group, Stevie had joined Fleetwood Mac, and Rhiannon went on to put them even higher on the charts than they had been the previous years. The previous 9 years, I think they meant, as Fleetwood Mac without Stevie and Lindsay. And then I'm sorry, I thought this was more about the portrait, but no, it's just talking about Rhiannon, the lyrics, and then they add some of the lyrics. So really not much there. But yeah, so it was just kind of neat to see it in its different forms. And then in the Belladonna songbook, there is another part, so there's this here that like I'd shown you, and then, that's this. But then another cool little piece was in the Belladonna songbook. Did I say tour book? The songbook, because there was no tour book for Belladonna. So a lot of us, just like to think of the Belladonna songbook as the tour book because there's so many pictures and some really great artwork in here. And unfortunately, I don't have the little dragon that's also, which was Stop Dragon, like with a little dragon, which is another piece that is in that book. I don't even have a Belladonna songbook anymore, unfortunately. So, but anyway, this was in there, and this was Robin Rhiannon. So this is some really pretty work as well. And even though it is not the Rhiannon print per se, it just has elements of that, and it has a lot of the candles, the moons, again, the circles. We're working with pyramids as we were in some of the other ones when I talk about, sharp edges and rounded edges, which I thought, it was just an impression. I went back watching those videos, and I'm sorry, it was just, it had come to my mind as I was talking about it. So I didn't think I had some great epiphany. I just thought it was kind of interesting that so many of the stuff had been so rounded and then later it was sharp. But I just know I kind of went off on that for a while. But yeah, I thought this one was kind of neat. And I don't know, I think would be, like if I had it, it would be a really cool or I got a bigger picture of this. I think it would be a very good companion piece to that one, because I know that Stevie had done a lot of the Rhiannon, Still Thinking of Robin. I mean, she wrote the lyrics supposedly some time ago, like well before Fleetwood Mac, when they were in Aspen, or no, that's Landslide. You hear different stories about when she was talking about Rhiannon. So, but still, I just think that that's really unique. And I really like all these color combinations, almost like totem poles of some kind. Just there's so many intricacies. And I know she's just doodling a lot of the time, but then it just comes together and it's just it's so Stevie in its simplicity. It's almost like she had begun dragons with a dragon scale here or something like that. And crystal balls and the crescent moon and the little elements that are here, all those little circles here that are here. I honestly do, I can't help but wonder if it's not a companion piece, like in her head, like if she's working on them at the same time, but that's just, that's again my opinion. Now, one thing I wanted to, no, that's for this one later. That's next. Another one that I had not shown in the prior video, I had shown this one, and these were just little sticker type things that I made up. But the ones I had not shown was this one. It's two of the same thing. And I only put that together because I thought they were kind of similar in style. They're completely different, but it's almost like she had begun here with just real narrow eyes and lips, and then another one just like she's working on the facial aspects. It's funny to me because I know that a lot of people who are artists have a really difficult time with faces and getting things down like that. And I just wonder again if Stevie was working with filling things more out and just trying to be more like, there was a portrait I'd shown a while ago and it was really big eyes, and that was kind of unusual for Stevie. And in this one, even it's she's got really kind of big eyes. She's got very doll like eyes in this one. But the face is pretty damn perfect in this one. And I just know, like I said, that a face is one of the more difficult things to work with. So again, I just wonder if that was her own, kind of practice, or kind of, obviously her artwork, but I just mean graduating or setting out to make a painting like that to specifically work on those things. And this one says at the bottom of this one, it's Lady, good Lord, don't know, Lady something Angel, the something St. Thomas, I want to say, and it's 1990 possibly. Again, these were borrowed from the internet. I think somebody's had these and had them for sale. You can try and read. I'll try and keep it as steady as possible, which is not saying much if you can make it out, but it is signed. Again, this is a copy, so I just had like 4 little stickers made out on, or sticker paper, so you could just peel it back, and I just thought that was kind of cute. I was putting them on envelopes and such. Another one that I had not shown, and this one I think this one was mentioned so this was in one of those Gotta Have Rock and Roll, so this was definitely an auction, and it was this piece here. And it's really hard to see because it's very, there's a lot going on in this. And I was able to get it slightly bigger, but really not by much. And again, I'll talk about this one here is a perfect, these darn little flippy things are getting everywhere. When you see the print go down this way and then kind of that sounded funny, but the kind of the circles on either side, it does also kind of remind me of this one and how there are, it comes down and then there's kind of circles here. Like, I don't know if that's a, line or just an element of her work, like how she begins things, or does she draw this and then the person behind her or something like that. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. I can't think of another one that might be like that. No, that just kind of reminded me of that one. Yeah, this one is freaking gorgeous. This is really pretty. I have no idea what it sold for. It was from it said Stevie Nicks original artwork from the Herbert Worthington estate. And I don't know, I know that some of these were original, like properly, like not photographs. Like Herbert, for a long time, and I think I showed you in my scrapbooks, there was possibly the Firebird or something else, because I'd shown the ones that were in the tour books. But in my scrapbooks, there were a couple prints that Herbert made multiple copies of and sold them under Herbert Worthington. like when you could send away for the 11 by 14 shots of Stevie or the postcards or such, they also had those portrait, those painting things. So I think Stevie also just left him a lot of her copies of her work. I know that there are a couple things that are going around that are like the, I don't think she used canvas. I think it was just always drawing paper, and then all these, you could feel like paint textures or see the paint textures, but not a lot. Where originals are, I can't say or confirm. I just know that what I have seen put up on auction houses and such like that are as close to originals as you're going to find. Some of them are like, have that I forget what kind of tape, that masking tape, I guess, on cardboard and such. They're just taped on there. But again, I still think that they might be copies of the original artwork itself because Stevie was continuing to work on them. I know, as we all know, like I've shown you with some of the tour books and such, that she liked to take photos and kind of change them up. And I also kind of can't help but think if that was a situation with this one, like if she kind of went a different way. So much of this is done, but the colors are so different that, if you look at the colors here, you could kind of fade it out or darken it up here, but, I just can't help but think that she went in a completely different way with this one, or was going to go a different way. Everything that's here is not as bright here, but there's some dark, I don't know. And it interests me to, I hope I'm making sense, but I think that, she could have like taken the painting itself and made a picture and then, drawn on that, or I don't know. I know that there are a lot of them were taped to it, but I am confident, and I'm certainly not saying that there aren't originals, like the thing that she was drawing on the physical paper. But I'd like to think that Stevie didn't lose a lot of that kind of stuff. I know she shared a lot of stuff with Herbert, and I know that a lot of stuff came out of his estate, but a lot of it was his work. His work, that was all Stevie, obviously, but stuff that she would also hand tint and what have you. But her original artwork, having so much of that, if she went and left it with Herbert, that's one thing. But another one of these had been where did I put that other one? I think it was this one, also from Gotta Have Rock and Roll magazine, or their little catalog or whatever like that. I don't know. I think it's really odd that, the original stuff would get left with him. But who's to say? Stevie is an artist, as we all know, not just artistically but musically. And, she could very well start stuff and finish it and be like, no, I don't want that. I'm going to move on. So who knows? I just thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, one last look at this one. It's quite beautiful. And whoever got this one was really lucky, because there is a lot to take in this. It's just absolutely stunning. I would love to own an original piece, or as close to. But you know what? At the same time, I say that. But what I have is, I'm really thankful for what I have. And yes, of course I would. But that's just, I don't know, this kind of her stuff, and having pictures of it to, look at and such like that is nice. But I mean, of course, if Steven handed me one, I would be like, well, okay, I mean, if you insist. I didn't show this one, but I think that this also was in a tour book or something, or maybe this is one I have a copy of, for real. This one was No Spoken Word. And I want to say that was in a later tour book. So again, we have the element that we see. We have the angel, a little bit of a head tilt. We have the rays that are coming up the back. We just have this kind of circle here. There's so much, just so interesting. And so interesting again when you pair them up and you take things like that and you see just all those little nuances and just kind of match them up. I wish that I had this one bigger to show you, but like I said, a lot of these are so small on the internet that this is the way I could do it. And I just thought it was kind of fun, like I said, to have these. I also made a lot of these up for people at the, when I went to the Buckingham Nicks listening party, at a record store here in Portland. I made a lot of these up. I made like little packets up for people and handed them out. So that's also why I have so many of these little things around. Lots of extra little stuff. Next up we have, I've shown you these two here. Another one that's intricate, and I really thought I had shown it in one of the earlier videos, but I guess not. And again, this one, let's see if this one has a name. I guess that says, yeah, it says The Wild Heart, which is really interesting. But, and you can almost kind of make out an element of the three figures, kind of like the Wild Heart album cover. So you have 1, 2, and 3. I mean, there's just so much in there. I don't know what's going on here though. I think that's kind of odd to be. I don't know if that's, I don't think it's a blockout by any means, but it's like, again, was she taken in a different direction? Did she, I don't know. It's so interesting to me how dark all this is here, but then on the outside stays so light and the writing and everything like that. So it's hard to say. After that, we have this one again, Set of Angels. I thought I'd shown all this one. This one is signed at the bottom, and it looks like this one says 83. I don't know. Hard to say because, again, it's just a little from the internet. So if you see right here, maybe it's 83, 93. Looks like 33 to me, but now this, in my opinion, is very different from everything else. I don't know what it is. It's still that mystical, what's the right word I was using? Ethereal kind of thing, wispy, where everything is just kind of blowing out, like, ghostly almost, or just, a lot of, I always just think of ribbons blowing in a fan or something like that. But this one has the most imagery like that, I think. And this one, honestly, if I were to compare any of Stevie's work, the most that I've seen, that I have here, that I'm showing you on a video, to a Sulamith painting, this one would be the most like it. And even though I haven't seen anything with Sulamith that's, got a lot of this kind of ribbony effect, I don't know. I just think that this looks most like it, especially the angel on the left, in the blues and such. I think if you took her out alone and put her in something and put her, in the colors and the kind of pencil work or stuff that Sulamith had done, I think you would easily mistake that for a Sulamith painting. Personally, that's just my take on it. But beautiful. And this might also be one of my favorites so far of everything I've shown. This one was a weird one. Another one, this one just says 1986. This one was hand tinted by, there's a young lady online who takes a lot of the artwork. And I thought she had a lot of it herself. She does not. Her name is Lori, and she hand tints it and just kind of gives it a different dressing and such like that to make it large and make it available. I asked for her permission to show this stuff, and she's like, I don't really care. It's for everybody, which is fine. But I don't know what the originals of anything look like, because anything that she's ever gotten, she like hand tints differently herself, which is nothing wrong with that. It just would kind of be interesting to see what the original work looks like. This one looks weird to me because that always looks like an arm sticking out or like a little bone. And what's funny is it's another little angel or something like that. So if you look carefully, it's another little person there. And again, that's so Stevie, like with the robe or something like that. But just next to that one, it just looks funny at first sight. Now you can't unsee that, right? I just ruined it for everybody. She's got that little chicken arm sticking out or something. And I can't, that's just her information on there. I can't see or make out. There's definitely writing around that 1986. It seemed like there's something, no, that's not the Blue Star one, but yeah, it seemed like there's something else like that. This one says, I'll be there. Again, borrowed from the internet, so it's hard to read, and it's enlarged a little bit, which kind of blurs it out. This one is really cute because it's the first thing I've seen with like an animal. She has birds and a lot of stuff, but little kitty cat there is really cute. But I don't know if you guys can make that any better than I can. And of course, this will remind you of the 1986 sitting where she has that big, beautiful lamp. So I'm sure that this is the lamp that she was, hers. So I would think that this would be, as after she had that lamp, which I would guess, I don't know, maybe just because I see the pictures in 86 would mean to me that maybe she had it around 85, 84, something, who knows? Maybe she's had it since the 70s, I don't know. But she uses this lamp in a picture, and there's a whole session of her. I've only got a couple of them, but she did release a postcard around In Your Dreams, I want to say. And And what's really funny is that in that same picture, it looks like she's holding a cat. Which just dawned on me. That's really funny. I was just talking to somebody about that too. For the longest time, it looked like she was holding a cat. I wish I had those to show you right now. I'll have to find them another time and just make a note of that to show you guys. Almost done here, because I'm going to save one for another time because I want to look into it a little bit further. This one is a doozy. This one has circulated somewhat recently, and this was drawn and given to Stevie's OBGYN. That's super cool. I mean, I just had a doctor recently that I freaking loved, and it broke my freaking heart that I had to not have her anymore. So maybe I get it. I mean, you know, if I were an artist or something like that, I just think it's also kind of weird, a little bit weird. But it says something Lily, I guess rock a little. Go on, Lily, possibly rock a little. And to my doctor, Roos, I think is his last name, with love, Stevie Nicks. And it's badass. I would like to go to his place and I would like to take this from him. Other than the fact it's, and I would never, I'm kidding. I'm totally, if you're out there, I'm kidding. This one is freaking beautiful. And I really like, you know, I'd like to see it in full. Like, is this the band or is it her friends? Is it people supposedly? And funny enough, I have a photo that I've shown you guys, and how I obtained the photos was that somebody had been friends with Stevie's mother and they went to the same OBGYN. Now, possible it could be that Stevie also went to the same one, like later as she became a young lady and so on and so forth. And, but the photos that they had and the autographs that they had were very particular. It was very, very strange to me that they would have these personal things because it was with Stevie's family. Distant family, kind of, it was just really weird. Supposedly that's where all this stuff came from. And then no sooner had I acquired that stuff, then these kind of started coming up around. I don't know I don't think the person passed away or anything like that. I just thought it was really kind of odd that, it's just a weird source. How about that? Nothing wrong with it. We're all ladies. Not all of us here watching, but we have OBGYNs, we get it, but it's just, does her dentist have any any artwork? Do I have to say it? I mean, it's just somebody who's there, and I don't know. It's just a little weird to me. I don't know. I don't want to make it awkward, but I can't not make it awkward in my head. But this artwork is something else. And what a gift. What a truly, truly wonderful gift to give to somebody just by what their craft is. But that was really neat, and it's really cool that it circulated. But I'm telling you, this looks almost like the band. It almost could. Well, but it also kind of looks like Beauty and the Beast almost. That kind of looks, don't you think? Kind of like, I mean, part of me is like, oh, that could be Lindsay, but then that also kind of looks like Beast, and that kind of looks like Linda Hamilton, if you ask me. But yeah, so that's it. I have a couple other pieces, but I want to talk about it pertaining to something else. So I will continue with this. I still haven't gotten to Lindsay's, but that's pretty short. Still want to show you some of Chris's stuff. And so whether that's the next video or again, I do a little bit more and then come back to it, who knows with me. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed seeing some other stuff. Hopefully you haven't seen before. Come back next time because you never know what I'll show up with. Thank you so much and have a great night. Bye.